Welcome to Stuff You Missed in History Class, a production of iHeartRadio. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Holly Fry.
And I'm Tracy V. Wilson.
Oh, Tracy, we talked about so much dental stuff this week.
We did.
There's so much history and there's so much we couldn't cover. I feel like you could do a whole history podcast about dentistry. I don't know that people that aren't dentists would really be super into it because it might get pretty grisly in a hurry. But I wanted to cover at least the high points and how far, as you said at the end of episode 2, how far we've come and the gaps we have yet to fill in because there are still people not getting adequate dental care. I promised I would tell the story of how I stopped being afraid of the dentist.
Sounds great. Tell me.
So I will confess, I'm not proud of this, but I really let my dental care not get addressed by a professional for quite some time, for over a decade, because I was just, I had a couple of bad experiences. I associated it with misery. I didn't want any part of it. I didn't want to get yelled at. I didn't want to be treated like I was stupid because I had failed in this theoretical responsibility I had as a human. And so I found a dentist who I hope you will not mind me sharing. I did not know at the time was also your dentist.
Oh, no. I started going to him because you recommended him.
No.
I thought that was how it worked.
No.
Our memories do not align on this.
I will tell you how I know that wasn't the case after I talk about how I met him and loved him. So the first time I went to him, I literally said, my teeth are a train wreck. If you do not bust my chops, although I said that in a slightly filthier way, I will be your star pupil and I will do everything you tell me to, but you gotta be cool. And he looked at me and said, you are very direct. And I said, that is correct. And he said, we're gonna get along great. And we did. And he was super gentle and lovely with me. And here is how I know you went to him first, because that day I had just come from a job interview.
Oh.
And I said that. And he said, where did you interview? And I said, How Stuff Works. And he said, I have another patient that I think works there. And it was you.
How funny. I like how our memories on this are just so divergent.
Well, if you were going to him before I started working at How Stuff Works, then we know for sure you were going to him before me.
Yeah, I think I started going to him after moving into a house that was very nearby, and proximity to where I was a big part of it. And I had a bad experience at a different practice I had been to in the Atlanta area. I felt like the hygienist was saying very judgy things to me about cosmetic things that made me very uncomfortable. And I did not want to go back anymore after feeling like I had these loaded questions about what my teeth and my face and my jaw looked like. And I was like, I don't want to go back there. And a period of time passed. I don't know if I have ever really been afraid of the dentist, but there have been times where something happened and I didn't go for a long time because of the thing that had happened. Shortly after I graduated from college and, I was making $11 an hour doing administrative work. I remember going to the dentist, and it was a practice I had been to since my childhood. And the dentist was like, you have all these teeth that have hairline cracks in them, and you need to get crowns on all of them, and it will cost $1,200. And I was like, how am I supposed to pay for that?
Right.
And I might have even had dental insurance for work. And it was still I was like, I don't have $120. I don't have 10% of this number that you've told me. And so my solution to this was just not to go to the dentist until I had moved to another city.
I think that is how a lot of people deal with that moment.
And no other dentist I have ever seen has been like, you have hairline cracks in all these teeth and we need to put crowns on them all. Yeah.
Can you imagine if you had been like, okay?
No.
The amount of just misery. And I will say that dentist has since retired. So shout out to my current dentist, who was one of his his people that took his patients, Dr. Giovanni, thanks for being awesome. And my orthodontist, Dr. Green, very great. Love them both. Delightful. I now have no fear about going to the dentist.
Nice. That's great.
The key was to be very direct with
yeah.
And be very much myself at the dentist. And they're like, oh, we get you. You're a slightly crazy person and my orthodontist thinks I'm hilarious because I laugh when the drill gets turned on. It's some physiological response. I find the whole thing absurd, especially if you put a rasp in my mouth and I can hear it. It makes me laugh so hard, which I know is a very strange reaction. But my orthodontist finds that hilarious.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I did also have an idea that I don't know if it will become a shirt or what, but as we were discussing the early treatments and beliefs about tooth decay and how it might be caused by demons, I thought it would be fun to do a demon dentifrice kind of advertisement.
Oh, that seems great.
It's like part exorcism, part toothpaste. Could be very, very fun. I did not know prior to doing this research that Paul Revere was a dentist. I had no idea.
I think I probably learned that at one of the, I'm pretty sure I'm remembering this correctly. It's been forever since I've been to the Museum of Fine Art in Boston, but there's some silver work that he had done in the collection. And I feel like I read on the signs about the silver work that he was also a dentist.
Yeah, I had no idea. For some reason, if I had ever learned that, it had vanished from my knowledge bank. And so I was like, what? What? I did like reading his ads that were like, no, it's normal for your teeth that have been lashed to other teeth to get a little loose over time. I've been trained. I'll fix that for you. No problem. Boy, am I glad for Novocaine. That's another.
Yeah.
I hate the shot.
Yeah.
But then it's over in like a second and then everything gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't tell any dental horror stories. We all have them. But yeah, I feel very lucky that I have now a dentist and a dental practice. Everyone at that dental practice is ridiculously nice and kind and will like stop periodically and be like, are you stressed? How are you doing? What can we do for you?
Yeah.
Which is why I bring them baked goods.
Yeah. When I was there, everybody was really nice. To the point that after I had moved to Massachusetts and I was having trouble figuring, because like that's one of the things that will just cause me to lapse in dental care is I've moved and I got to find a new dentist.
Yes.
And I was like, what if I just kept going there when I go to Atlanta on business? And then it was like, but I'm going to at some point need like an urgent dental issue and I should have someone local.
Yes, I had a surprise dental issue recently, which is why I've been going so much lately, because I had to have a fresh crown party going on, and that meant that orthodontic stuff had to get shifted, and then that fresh crown popped off, and I had to run back. They have been marvelous at getting me in really quickly and taking care of all of it, but again, if I have to go, that's where I want to go because they're so lovely. So, and it's hard to find a dentist that you click with and that you like, which is why I'm so delighted that everyone there is wonderful. And I really like talking to my current dentist because he is very big on like always being up to date on the latest stuff. And he'll talk to me about what he's learning about like reconstruction and stuff, which I find fascinating. So
nice.
It's good stuff. Yes, Crawford Long.
Yeah.
was from Georgia. Hospital named after him. That hospital was bought by Emory and became Emory Midtown, and is no longer Crawford Long, but they do, like I said in the episode, they do still have signage up that includes his name kind of as a way to still nod to that.
Yeah, it's still Emery Crawford Long in my head.
Oh, yeah, because it was for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Crawford Long, and then they had the crossover for a while. And if you're, it speaks to the resonance and frequency of like their advertising and brand awareness that like I think most people in Atlanta would be like, yes, Emery Crawford Long. Like you put those words together instantly.
Yeah. That hospital is really close to where I would often stay coming to the Atlanta office. And I can't remember what happened. Like maybe it was one time that I had something at lunch where I was like, something maybe was not quite correct with my meal there. Am I going to have a problem? And I was like, the hospital's literally across the street from this hotel.
Fine. It's fine.
It was fine. I didn't have to go to the hospital, whatever it was that had caused me to wonder that.
I'm sorry to laugh at your chagrin, but I'm just glad that like your brain logic through like, well, there it is.
Hospital's right there.
Walk across the street. I'm going to be okay. Yes. Dental stuff. So much dread because there are people doing things in your head.
Yeah. And I have a gag reflex that makes everything much harder.
Yeah. I have my tongue is possessed by a demon that doesn't care what I tell it to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have that too sometimes.
It's all up in their business, no matter what they're attempting.
Yeah.
And they're
Relax
very
your tongue.
patient.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm like, it's totally relaxed, dude. And they're like, oh, no, it is not.
Not.
I always worry that I will be the person that leaves. And they're like, ugh, that ding dong and that tongue. I don't know what to do. But
I also just want to head off well-meaning emails from people with tips and tricks about the gag reflex. I assure you, I have tried so many things, and emails about it will stress me out.
Right. Yeah. Most of us that have had something like that have probably worked through all of the
tried a whole lot of things.
I feel like I should thank everyone that goes into the dental fields.
Yeah.
That is kind and caring to their patients.
Yeah, there was a moment in my life where I was like, this was many, many years ago, and I was like, I'm not satisfied with what I'm doing. What should I do next? And dental hygienists' pay was pretty good amount of money compared to what I was making at the time. And I was like, maybe I could be a dental hygienist. And then I was like, I don't think I could though. Because I don't think I could be in people's mouths that much.
I could not get up that early on the regular.
Sure.
I did speak with a dental hygienist. And again, this is a data set of one. So don't take this as any kind of, gospel truism or anything. But she was telling me that field, at least in Atlanta, in recent years, has become so competitive for people needing hygienists that she stopped working for one specific office and she kind of works as a freelancer. And she was saying, like, every night when I get home, I have like a minimum of 3 calls of offices that are like, can you come in tomorrow?
Wow.
And she was saying for her, that works better because she can set her own schedule completely. If she wants a day off, she just isn't available that day for calls.
Mm-hmm.
And that for her, this has been a way more effective way to manage her life and her time. And I was like, ooh, I didn't realize that like that is a career that almost never wants for a job.
Right. It's like my friend who's a nurse.
Right. We always need them. This has been Dental Week on Stuff in History Class. I didn't mean to do that, but like I said, I got curious about it, and then I suddenly was just like, I'm in too deep, Tracy. This is a two-parter.
Yep, I totally get it.
Which took me so long to like refine and peel out what was extraneous and didn't make sense and make sure I was covering all the bases that I turned this outline over to Tracy at a shocking hour of the morning this morning that we were recording.
Very shocking. It was, I think, possibly the most shocking hour you have ever sent me an outline.
Right, and I am a little bit of a vampire hour keeper, so they've been pretty late, but this really was like, all right, I'm just going to send this. I have to stop touching it. But I hope it has been informative and enjoyable and not too squirmy for anybody. If this is your weekend, I hope that your teeth feel great and that you have a good one. And that if you have time off, that you get to enjoy it and relax. If you don't have time off and you're busy with things that you are required to do, I hope that those are as relaxed and pain-free as possible. We will be right back here tomorrow with a classic and then on Monday with brand new stuff. So we'll see you then.
Stuff You Missed in History Class is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.